This is I Am Chris TV, and your host, Chris Hernandez, yours truly. So, basically, I want to welcome you to my channel. Thank you for those of you that have subscribed so far. We're off to a little bit of a rough start, but we're learning as we go. Today, as I told you earlier, the topic at hand is 10 rules to being friends with benefits. So, basically, the do's to being friends with benefits. 1. You want to be brutally honest. Be upfront with the person. Be honest with the person, as honest as you can. You know, you guys are just friends with benefits. You want to just be honest with each other. You guys were friends before you were friends with benefits. No need to ruin it with lies. The only rules that apply are the ones that you guys create for yourself. The second one would probably talk about each other's sex lives. You definitely want to know where the person has been if you haven't known before. You want to know a little bit. You want to know exactly. Make sure that the person, whether or not if they're sleeping around with other people currently, you want to know if they're the only friend with benefits. You want to know these kind of things. You want to keep it safe. You want to have fun, but you also want to keep it safe. Which brings me to my next probably most important rule. And please, everyone, use protection. Strap up. There's so many different ways to use protection these days. You've got birth control, condoms, you got the day after pill, and I can name many, many more. There are lots of options out there for protection. Don't be silly, just use it. The fourth one would have to be get adventurous. Have fun. It's your friend with benefits, so you guys are just both basically there for each other's pleasure. It's just friends with benefits. It's just a sexual, basically, contract between you two with words. As harsh as it sounds, that's what it is. You're both using each other for each other's pleasure. Remember, this is probably your best friend, I want to say, if you guys are friends with benefits. This is probably your best friend or one of your really good friends that you are fooling around with. And you want them to be honest with you, and in return, you also want to be honest with them. This could be the sexual opportunity of a lifetime. So the fifth thing would probably end on good terms. Don't end on bad terms. Remember, you were friends before, and if you guys keep it all in perspective, you can walk away being friends again without being friends with benefits. Although, I'm going to keep it honest. I'm going to say this is probably highly unlikely. Those are some of the things that you want to do. Some of the things you do not want to do. I mentioned about maybe 4 or 5 things off the top of my head. Number 1, don't expect a relationship from this. You're not going to be in a relationship. Just because you like a guy and you have feelings for him and you think that sex would probably make him like you more or, will take interest in you more, it's not going to happen. I can promise you that. Promise you that it's not going to happen. So make sure you're not expecting a relationship. Suddenly falling madly in love with a person that you're having sex with, you can't add that to the equation. Try and stay level-headed. Remember the task at hand. You guys are there using each other. The second thing is don't get jealous. If you're in a relationship, it's already bad. Jealousy isn't even cool when you're in a relationship, in an actual relationship. So just imagine how less cool or how more annoying and aggravating it can be when you're just fooling around with your friend. The third thing. Oh, another important one. We know this. Don't kiss and tell. You don't want everyone to know who your friends with benefits are. I know girls surely don't want to know, and guys have a really bad habit of always opening their mouth and bragging to their boys and to them. It's not cool. Don't do that. This is something that this is your friend beforehand. You respected her. Don't go out and, just basically show her off like that in a bad way. Show her off in a good way, not in a bad way. Talk about her in a good way. Like, hey, I have my friend, she gives me great advice. Don't talk about anything sexual. If you start running your mouth about that, something I want to add to that. If you start running your mouth about friends with benefits, people are going to start to even assume things. So keep your private life private. This is not only works in relationships, but this also works in friends with benefits. The fourth one would be also keep it honest. Don't lie. Honesty is always the best policy. We all can't remember all our lies because a lie leads to another lie, to another lie, to another lie, and you just forget about the truth. And I don't have time to remember the lie and the second lie and the third lie. I don't have time to remember that. So I'll keep it honest with you, and I hope in return you can keep it honest with me because lies just turn into more lies. And like I said, we don't have time for that. So let's just avoid that whole disaster. And the fifth thing would probably don't get clingy. This is important. Girls, don't leave your toothbrushes and your hair brushes and your makeup kit in the bathroom when your sweatpants and pajamas under his pillow, and don't do that. Don't do it. Also, don't sleep over too often. Don't buy each other gifts and be very friendly with each other with gifts because this is just going to turn into something that you're going to catch feelings for. This is how you're going to catch feelings. Try not to cuddle as much. You can cuddle a little bit, kind of have like a friendship, maybe talk about it. It doesn't have to just be sex. You can actually have a conversation, maybe go out, go get something to eat afterwards, bowl, watch a movie together. I don't know. You guys are friends. What would you guys have done when you guys were friends? Just sex was added to the equation, for the both of you. Hopefully it's not just for the one person because it's only good if it's for two people. Another thing, why you don't want to get clingy, you're not trying to date this person. I mentioned it before. You're just trying to sleep with them or keep sleeping with them. That's basically it. So this were the 10 rules to being friends with benefits. Now, I did mention I will introduce a fan of the week showing appreciation. That my fan of the week this week is Stephanie Chasey Johnson. So I want to thank Stephanie Chasey Johnson for showing all her love to me, showing all her support, commenting, liking, giving me questions, everything. Thank you so much for being our fan of the week. And the ways that you can be our next week's fan of the week is just comment on our post, like a recent wall post, post interesting stuff on our page's wall. Our page's wall is www.facebook.com/topmodelchrisH, and the Twitter is www.twitter.com/topmodelchrisH. The user handle is topmodelchrisH. Chris is CHRIS. Or you can even like our YouTube channel now. You definitely want to subscribe, which is up here. Subscribe. Very important. Please subscribe. We need those subscribers. And comment down here. Sorry, I got my phone in here. Comment down here. This is where the comments come. And another way you can also show love and be a fan of the week is send us your questions. I won't have all these topics to talk about if you don't help us. So send us your questions of what you would love for me to talk about, a topic. Give me something, anything. It could be anything, and I'll talk about it the best way I can. You want to send those questions, you can send them on my Facebook, where I just gave you, the Twitter, or you can even email me at iamchristv@gmail.com. So, once again, this is Chris Hernandez talking on I Am Chris TV. Please subscribe and comment. These videos aren't easy.